Ranks and rank insignia of the Red Army between 1940 and 1943 were characterized by continuing reforms to the Soviet armed forces in the period immediately before Operation Barbarossa and the War of National Survival following it. The Soviet suspicion of rank and rank badges as a bourgeois institution remained, but the increasing experience of Soviet forces and the massive increase in manpower all played the part, including the creation of a number of new general officer ranks. Change of military rank insignia. From May 1940, the introduction of general ranks in the Red Army and flag officer ranks in the Soviet Navy was officially sanctioned by a decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet. The following general officer ranks were introduced: high-level force commanding staff, Major General, Lieutenant General, Colonel General and General of the Army. Artillery commanders, Major General of the Artillery, Lieutenant General of the Artillery and Colonel General of the Artillery. Air Force commanders, Major General of the Air Force, Lieutenant General of the Air Force and Colonel General of the Air Force. Armored Corps commanders, Major General of the Armored Corps, Lieutenant General of the Armored Corps, and Colonel General of the Armored Corps. Communications Troops commanders, Major General of the Communications Troops, Lieutenant General of the Communications Troops and Colonel General of the Communications Troops. Engineer Troops commanders, Major General of the Engineer Troops, Lieutenant General of the Engineer Troops and Colonel General of the Engineer Troops. Commanding Staff of Other Troops, Major General of the Technical Troops, Lieutenant General of the Technical Troops, and Colonel General of the Technical Troops. Leading Staff of the Commissariat Service, Major General of the Commissariat Service, Lieutenant General of the Commissariat Service, and Colonel General of the Commissariat Service. Flag officers of the Soviet Navy, Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, Admiral, and Admiral of the Fleet. Generals of the Soviet Navy on Coastal Service, Major General of the Coastal Service, Lieutenant General of the Coastal Service, and Colonel General of the Coastal Service. Engineer Flag officers of the Soviet Navy, Rear Admiral Engineer, Vice Admiral Engineer, and Admiral Engineer. On the 4th of June 1940, the first promotions to the newly established ranks were made. First to be promoted to the rank of Army General were Zhukov, Meretskov and Tylenev. The rank insignia that characterized it were as follows: gorget patch, 1 large star in gold embroidery on the lower part, 2 round laurel twigs and the hammer and sickle emblem. Sleeve, 1 large star in gold embroidery, red piping, below a red-colored chevron in gold embroidery, surrounded by 2 gold laurel twigs with red piping. The rank of Marshal of the Soviet Union, established in September 1935, remained unchanged. What would become a future rank system started to take shape with the promotion of the first Marshal of Artillery in early 1943, with the collar patch of a Marshal but in black. With the new rank regulations came the reintroduction of the Yefreitor rank to the Army and Air Force and the introduction of new ratings for the Navy, leading Red Fleetman and Yefreitor ranks and rank insignia. The general intention of rejecting traditional rank insignia was maintained. The large gorget patches were modified. The rhombic patches previously used by generals were replaced by 1 5-pointed golden star. A new emblem, the symbol of a particular branch of service, was added. The general's star remained slightly smaller than the marshal's star. The small gorget patches, mounted on the tunic, remained unchanged. but they were made in the corps color and contained an emblem to indicate the branch of service a special appointment. The previously used gold-colored rank chevrons for general ranks were retained with small modifications. Corps colors emblems. The corps colors of 1935 were maintained, with minor changes. Trousers of stripes, gorget, rank insignia and cap piping was given to general officers and marshals of the Soviet Union, Marshal of the Soviet Union and generic force commanders and commanding generals. Deep red trousers of stripes. Artillery and armor generals, black gorgets with red piping and deep red trousers of stripes. Air Force, blue gorgets. Generals of communication troops, engineer troops, technical troops and the commissariat service, crimson gorgets. The rank of general of the artillery, of armored troops, of the Air Force, of communication troops, of engineer troops, of technical troops and of the commissariat service wore on the gorget the appropriate emblem of the branch of service, special force, or assignment. Corps color typical to the branch of service were infantry, raspberry, artillery and transport troops, black, Air Force and air defense, blue, cavalry, dark blue, rear services, dark green, Ministry of the Interior and State Security, border troops, light green, state security, blue, all others, chestnut brown. Rank insignia for naval service personnel, flag officers, naval officers, lower commanding staff and enlisted ratings. The 1940 regulations reinstated ground force style ranks to the coastal services of the Navy.